Hey there, this is Evan with Crypto Cash Camp. Today we're going to jump in and talk about Solidly, SolidSwap, which just is about to launch on Fantom Wednesday at midnight. So it's about 1 day. So the 16th at midnight, it will drop. So we're going to jump in and talk all about that and the opportunities that are there and explain what this actually is. Hey, this is Evan with Crypto Cash Camp. So we jump in and we talk about passive income in the DeFi space, so that's plug and play opportunities, farming, staking, all of those things. I'm actually dropping a course. There's a link in the description, so if you're interested in that, there's a big discount if you're willing to get in early. So check that out. And let's get into this right now. So this is Solidly, or SolidSwap, as you know. This is the project that was dropped by Andre and Danny as kind of as a collaboration, and how they actually got tokens distributed. It wasn't like they had a big launch and everyone could buy them at a low price. They had what they call a more or less a lock drop. So it showed there's a snapshot of the top 25 projects on Fantom, and if you go down here, these are the current projects. Well, actually, we go to chains, go to Fantom, and we see most of these projects, and I'll show you a graph of which ones got the most token allocation based on I guess total market value, and it's pretty interesting to see these. So a lot of these different exchanges, farms, protocols got a huge dump of these solid tokens, and it's up to them to figure out how they distribute the token. The rule of thought is that if you own their native token, which they really want people to do, they want people to own their native tokens, they may incentivize you in some way. Whether you lock the native token, you get paid out in Solidly. So we will see that coming up in the future for each and every one of these different exchanges. So yeah, this is SolidSwap. Remember, it is here. You can swap. There's pretty low liquidity, high slippage, but when they start incentivizing liquidity, it'll be highly efficient based on what has the most liquidity. It'll be a great place to swap on Fantom. So just to jump in, what is this ve3 SolidSwap by Andre? Remember, Andre was the guy who created Yearn. And Yearn is a huge, let's go to CoinMarketCap. Yearn is like a top 100 project. It has a great locking mechanism, EAR, and it has a very small token supply, so that each token is worth a ton of money. So this is Yearn. It's been around for quite a while, and it's been a very well producing project, and he's a great guy not only at development on Fantom ecosystem, but he's super good at tokenomics and figuring out what's going to keep something lasting rather than just dying. So here's SolidSwap. Let's just go into the three main mechanisms that make this different. So the first one being the weekly emissions, meaning the amount of solid tokens they're pumping out each week, are completely dependent on the number of locked solid tokens. So if all the circulating supply of solid tokens are locked, 100%, very rare that'll ever happen, there will be zero emissions. You will be making nothing in terms of emissions. However, if you lock your solid tokens, you will be making all of the exchange fees as well. Also, VE lockers increase their holdings proportional to the weekly emissions. So what this means is that all the emissions, so say you put 1 million tokens in, and all the token supply of emissions increases by, say, 5%, your token supply will also increase at that same rate. So you're not getting diluted by locking. You are getting the exact same amount as the emission. So it makes it so it's a non-dilutive token, meaning if you lock, you're in a good place. And all locks are NFTs, which is this is the kind of the most interesting different thing, which we're going to see how that plays out. But by tokenizing the lock positions, this allows for a single address to own more than one lock. Lock balances are cumulative, and each lock contributes to the overall VE balance. So we're going to see how that plays out. The locks turn into NFTs, which can then be sold on a secondary market. No idea how that'll play out, but I haven't seen that on any other protocol or exchange. And one of the other big things is the voting for each of the actual incentives are going to are very interesting because what's going to happen is everyone's incentivized to vote for the same pairs. So say Fantom USDC. If everyone's voting on that and you don't vote on that, and you vote on the wrong one that doesn't win for that week of emissions, then you're really not going to get any rewards. So you really have to vote for the right one. You have to follow the wagon and see what everyone's voting for and vote for that to actually win. So it seems like each week there's going to be a little bit of consensus, maybe led by a couple whales or people who bribe certain liquidity pairs to get the emissions. So it's going to be very interesting in that respect. You just have to follow the pack. You're probably not going to be the leading animal unless you have a million of these tokens. So you follow what people are doing and you get the better emissions. So this is Jack. Jack had a very interesting thread about all these, about pretty much everything about this and his take on what he's going to do with this. And I think one of the most interesting things as we go down, you look at this, and what this shows you is it shows you the actual token, the market allocation based on market cap. And it shows you based on their market cap, you divide the market cap by the token allocation of strong that they received, and more or less they got theoretically per market cap they got, for $4 of market cap, they got one strong token. $5 of market cap, they got one strong token. But then you look over here, SushiSwap for $1,400, you got one strong token. So you think that kind of on this lower end, his idea is that on this lower end, this will be a much better opportunity to receive these tokens. But these are obviously the higher risk swaps because these have the lowest market value. And also the co-founder of this is the co-founder of Time Wonderland, which could be a little sketch. So I would always look into this a little bit more. I don't know too much. Sifu is the co-founder or co-creator of this. So yeah, this is a great thing to do just to see what's the probability of how many tokens that will be here per market cap. So this, it seems like they're not putting anything out, but no one is selling the solid token, so do not try to buy it. There are a bunch of scams out there, so watch out for that. So we can follow them to see more. And the next thing is to just look over at SolidSwap and wait for when the emissions start coming out, so you can see which things are actually going to be giving the highest liquidity. And I think one of the best tactics, just safe, solid, is if you're farming, and so you have Fantom and something else, stables, whatever's going to be getting the highest emissions at launch, just start farming that. You don't need to buy a bunch of the token. Maybe you want to speculate on that, but doing that and then maybe following when you start getting the native token, then you start staking it, investing it, and really get into this project. This could be one of the most efficient swaps on Fantom for whatever actually has the highest incentive, but we'll see what happens here. So just wait for things to start coming out here. We're going to actually start seeing, we're going to be past votes to see what are the rewards that are coming out. So I say Wednesday at midnight, you will see much more activity here, and you'll see much more people talking about this. So I'm just giving you a broad strokes overview about the SolidSwap platform. Take a look at this. Look at Jack Nywald. This thread pretty much explains everything, and it will go into everything about SolidSwap and his perspective on how to really get in here and actually have the biggest advantage possible for this latest drop. So yeah, if you like crypto content and you're interested in actually getting deeper into DeFi, check out the link in the description for the course we're launching. I would love a little bit more feedback on what problems you're facing. So yeah, other than that, I will see you guys on the next video.